creamy, indulgent, and delicious butter chicken. This is one of my children's favorite dishes that I love to serve with some homemade naan and rice on the side. I've got my chicken breast, and you can also use a boneless chicken thigh. I'll cut them into cubes and place them into a bowl where I'll be marinating my chicken in. And you want the chicken to be cut into large chunks. I'm going to be making a yogurt-based marinade, and that's going to help tenderize the chicken and incorporate a lot of flavor. I'll add in all my ingredients. Here I've got yogurt, minced garlic, minced ginger, and for the seasoning I've got ground coriander, garam masala, ground cumin, paprika powder, red chili, and finally I'll season with some salt and black pepper. A little lime zest and lime juice. Mix the ingredients together and allow it to marinate for a couple of hours in the fridge. I like preparing my recipes from scratch and using as much whole ingredients as possible. Here I'll be using whole tomatoes, and I use the skin. I don't blanch it and separate the skin. Why waste? The skin adds some nice texture, and it's home cooking, so it should be wholesome. Just chop them into large chunks. I'll need about 3 to 4 large tomatoes. I'll need about, finely chop 1 large onion. I have 2 small ones, so you want to eyeball the quantity. I've got all my ingredients prepped, and now I can start cooking my dish. I like preparing this recipe in 2 steps. I'm going to cook my chicken in small batches separately, and then we'll start preparing the curry recipe. Make sure to preheat your pot before you start frying your chicken so that it browns well, and it also prevents the extra moisture to be released from the chicken. You want to seal the chicken so it retains all the moisture inside. I've got some ghee that I'm going to be using to fry my chicken. And then reserved the cooked chicken on this side. We'll use it later. And then repeat the same steps with the rest of the chicken. Make sure to allow your oil to heat up again before you add the rest of the chicken. And you see I'm using a tong to individually remove the pieces of the chicken because I don't want to add all the marinade in, as it will just add a lot of moisture and affect the way the chicken fries. This smells so good, and we're not even halfway close to be done. Cooking with ghee, I have to say, does add a lot of flavor to this dish. If you don't like using ghee, you can use butter. I would mix it with a bit of vegetable oil so that you can make sure that it has a high burning point or smoking point so that the butter doesn't burn when you're cooking. All right, so now that my chicken is ready, I'm gonna keep it on the side and I can start preparing the sauce elements of my recipe. And in the same pot, I'm gonna cook the sauce. I'll add a bit more ghee and I'll saute my onions. Okay. And I like using the same pot because first, I don't have to wash too many pots. But second, there's so much flavor that comes from the chicken marinade. I don't want to lose it. I want to incorporate all of that flavor into my curry. And I'll just saute for a couple of minutes until the onions have softened. And once the onions turn into a translucent color, that's a simple guide that you're ready to start with the rest of the steps. Add in your chopped tomatoes. Some tomato paste, and I find that by using paste and puree, it just gives a deeper, richer red color, which I want for this recipe. And about a quarter cup of water. It'll just help everything soften, and while it cooks, the excess liquid will reduce, so it'll get a nice thick consistency. I'm gonna season my tomato with some coriander powder, cumin powder, paprika, garam masala, and if you want to make this a bit spicy, extra chili, but we've already added some to the chicken, so if you don't want it too spicy, you can skip that. And just give everything a nice mix. And don't forget a little bit of salt. And of course, black pepper. Once the tomatoes have softened, I'll add in my cashew nut butter, and this really gives it that decadent, rich flavor. Just mix it in until it's fully combined. Just turn off the heat, and with a hand blender, I'm going to pulse all the ingredients together until it has a nice smooth consistency. This looks so good. Now that my sauce has this nice creamy smooth consistency, I'll add in my cream. And my chicken. Now for an extra kick of flavor, I'm gonna add in some dried fenugreek. Now this is optional, but I find that it really does add an extra wonderful layer of fragrant flavor. And you don't wanna add too much, just a little pinch, and let this just cook together for another 5 minutes. You want it to gently simmer, and then we're ready to serve. Garnish it with some cream on top and chopped coriander. time to serve up. And I'm serving this with some homemade naan and rice on the side.